Okay, so I wanted to talk today just a little bit about this Revelator RetroSonic Telecaster. I also wanted to say to everyone who is new to the channel, like anyone who subscribed recently, or people who've been watching for a while. I think I've got some people who've been checking this stuff out for like 5 years plus. First, I want to say thank you, and second, I really want to say thank you because I started doing this and still have been doing it just spontaneously. When I learn something new, I'll make a video so that if I forget it, I can go back and reteach myself. Or maybe sometimes I'll make a lesson video to send to a friend, but since I've posted it, other people get something from it. Tutorials, all that kind of stuff. It's just something I've been doing since 2009. But I checked the channel recently and there's like 400 something subscribers. And some of the videos have been getting a lot of people watching them and saying some very kind things. And I've always felt really good about being able to help people sort of by accident, right? Like just putting videos up. But it's made me realize that I could do a lot more if I did it on purpose. So I've just moved to a new city and I'm trying to kind of get things organized. But I'm saying thank you twice because I've realized that I think that there's actually a really cool opportunity here to start using this channel to turn it into something a little bit more regular, and where I'm listening to what people are saying. And some people have asked for tutorials of certain things or tabs of certain things, and I think that that's an avenue I want to pursue. So thank you. Keep an eye on the channel, and if you haven't seen it yet and you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing to it, because hopefully by the end of the year I'm gonna have everything in place to be able to start really putting some stuff out for you all. So I appreciate it. Also, TK and the Holy Know Nothings, check this band out. So what is this? Like I said, it's a Revelator Guitars RetroSonic. It's a Tele. This thing has such a convincing Relic job that people have asked me what year is it, and they get really confused when I tell them that it's a 2021. Relic guitars can be sort of controversial because some people look at them the same way they look at distressed jeans, right? Like, why would you buy it with wear in it? Like, you're paying for damaged goods, or like, make your own wear. And people, it's totally fine for them to have their opinions about what they have. I have generally stayed away from Relic guitars because I feel like a lot of the Relic jobs are unrealistic. They'll like really wear out an area like on the neck or like here or something where there wouldn't really realistically be wear. But this one, the wear is all in places, like in the corner by this that always gets knocked. The checking in it is all realistic. And it just sounds incredible. The thing is 6 pounds. The headstock looks amazing. I love this little worn out atomic thing. But I noticed there's not a lot of videos of these things online. So I just wanted to kind of like play through it a little bit. Now, some of you might know I actually had to stop playing guitar for a series of years. I could play it like maybe 5 minutes a day, sometimes only that amount a week. But I had a muscular condition for 8 years and was mainly relegated to playing bass. So in the mornings, sometimes my playing is a little bit more sketchy because I really have to put a lot of care and intention into warming up. So just, a quick disclaimer. I know people really like to offer their critiques of other people's playing, but I'm aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. I just implore people to maybe think about it sometimes when they're gonna make a comment. And to be fair, this has never happened to me, but I've seen it on other videos. Maybe just think about it before you comment on someone else's playing, because you never know what they're going through, or what their hands have gone through. So anyways, let's just look at some of the sounds on this thing. You're gonna hear some buzz because it's a single coil guitar, right? In the middle position, that buzz is kind of canceled. But this has never bothered me because, when you're playing live on a stage, you don't hear that. But yeah, let's give it a go. So I'm just playing through a Fender Princeton, right? Love that thing. Yeah, let's just do like the bridge pickup first. Listen to how clear and beautiful. You don't even have to play much. That's 2 notes, right? It's gonna be a little pitchy because I just got new strings. And as you can see, very, very, very receptive to where you place your pick. You know, you can get that twang. But when you bring it closer, right, it disappears. And that's a constant for a lot of guitars. But tellies, I find you can be extremely expressive with them. You know, it's funny, people talk a lot about like, oh, this guitar can do everything. It can do metal, it can do jazz, it can do whatever. And there is some truth to that, right? Certain genres require a different set of electronics or sound more like that genre depending on your setup. But really, you know, you can't separate these things into just a guitar any more than you can separate them into just your hands, right? People say like, tone is in the fingers. Well, ring modulation is not in the fingers, right? Delay is not in the fingers. There are... It's a funny conversation to me because I find it a little silly to kind of just try to cut it up into certain things, the way you would like a pedal. Like, oh, this pedal sounds this way because of the transistor, you know? Or this car drives this way because it's red. All these things work together, and the most important thing about a guitar, to me, is how it makes you feel. And how it makes you feel has to do with the look of the guitar, the playability of the guitar, and of course the sounds. So at the risk of sounding cliche, I do feel like this guitar can do a lot. You know, if I put it in the bridge pickup and really bring that tone knob down, get a much more mellow, kind of nice jazzy tone. But of course, if you want the country thing, you can get it. And I've talked before about Telecasters, but one of the things I love about them, especially if we goose the reverb, for example. Oh, I should also mention, I got, this is the only thing I've really changed about it, is I flipped this around, right? Normally you got your tone switch here, like this pickup selector here, pickup selector here, and then it's volume knob and tone knob. I flip it around on a lot of my tellies because I particularly enjoy doing volume swells with this knob. Right? And not every guitar has an easy operating space for that kind of thing. You know, some guitars, the volume knob's all in the way in the corner, or it's in some strange place. That's something I really like about Telecasters. And you can do a similar trick if you take your tone knob and put it all the way off. You've got an auto wah. Now, depending on your pickup selector, like a lot of times they get really close to this, right? So generally when I do that trick, generally I'll put it all the way to the side. That way I don't risk ruining my finger, because it, it can get a little close for comfort there if it's in the neck position, but it should work. Right, so that's a cool trick. There's all the Jim Campolongo-isms, right, which he took from a lot of guys, Roy Acuff, Danny Gatton, God, who's his hero? Oh, I'm blanking on his name, but there's another Telecaster player who's just amazing. But because you have this scooped kind of section in the back here, you can bend the strings behind the nut a lot easier. And you can make little triads with harmonics. So there's all sorts of things that I really enjoy about Tellies. Man, this thing's gonna be... Yep. One sec, let me tune this. I was just going to say, the things I love about tellies are that they really, really stay in tune. And this one does. Like I said, I took it out and played 2 gigs with it as soon as I bought it. I'm with a country artist named Owen Cook, and 0 complaints. You know, it was just this straight into the Princeton. Everything sounded great. The only changes I made, other than flipping this around, was I made it go from 9s to 10s and raise the action a bit. But that doesn't really do much to the sound of the guitar. But, you know, when the strings aren't, you know, 24 hours old, they stay in tune really well. Like I said, the thing is light. It's 6 pounds. The back of the neck, they've really removed a lot of the finish, which is one of the things kind of hard to see in this light, but it really makes it super playable. And yeah, that's just the thing I love about tellies. Uncomplicated electronics, right? The path from your guitar into the tone, into the pickups is very simple. They're light. You got all these kind of tricks you can do. You know, I used to use a volume knob a lot. Or sorry, a volume pedal a lot. I don't need it with this guitar, you know? Same with wah. Like, you don't really need to have that. Depending on how you're using wah, you don't really need to have that. Right? You got all these little tricks. And then they're just really cool guitars. I think this thing sounds great. And these pickups are Arcane pickups, I believe they're called. The thing that's really special about this guitar, too, with the pickup situation is they're modeled after 50s pickups. Now, one of the cool things about that is that the treble response in these 50s pickups is very different than what I'm used to in Telecasters. My buddy used to work at a guitar shop called Imperial Vintage. He was telling me how these 50s pickups don't hit the same, like, what they call ice picky, treble-y registers that you normally hear on tellies. Now, that doesn't mean that at the right volume, it's not still going to kind of prick the ear. But, you know, Jim Campolongo's test is like, go to the bridge pickup, hit a C sharp, and see how your ear feels. Now, right now, my ear feels pretty under attack because I've got this Princeton on 4, and it's pointing right at my ear. But one of the things I've noticed about this telly, it doesn't matter how high up on the neck I go, everything is comfortable. You know, a lot of times with these Telecasters, you kind of have to take the tone knob and bring it down a little bit and just soften. A lot of times you kind of have to soften the attack a bit, but with this guitar, I find that I never have to worry about too much treble. Usually I'm using the tone knob all the time, but what's interesting about these pickups is I find the tone knob, and this is just, you know, depending on how people like to use tellies, this is a plus or not. I find this tone knob doesn't really do anything until the very bottom end of the spectrum. You can hear, like, I'll kind of move it around. there you're finally getting a bit of a response from it, and I'm this far away from the end, right? This is tone knob all the way down. This is a tiny switch. So that's one aspect of the pickups that's very interesting. I find myself not really having to use the tone knob that much. And honestly, I tend to change tone more often with pick choice. You know, I could get more ice picky. Or a little more blunt. Playing down here. I think this guitar is going to be an incredible soul guitar. But yeah, I just wanted to put an in-depth, like long guitar hang video out there with this Revelator, because it is an exceptionally well-made instrument. Zero complaints. The only modifications I did don't change the sound of the guitar. They just set it up to play how I want. And I cannot speak highly enough about this. Nor can I speak high enough about Jim at Cottonwood Music Emporium. He is where I got this thing. An old owner had to part with it, unfortunately. He, it's tough times right now, needed the money, and as a result, I got this at a considerable discount because it had been pre-owned. And that kind of like kindness and willingness to make a deal is rare in individuals, and especially rare in guitar shops. Cottonwood Music Emporium, if you're ever in Southern California, Orange County, Costa Mesa area, it's a place to go. Jim allows you to hang out. He allows you to plug in. You can play a fuzz pedal as loud as you want. There's a piano there. There's guitars you've never seen, pedals you've never seen, and you just feel at home. You feel like you're at your friend's garage again when you're there. So he, I've been wanting to buy a guitar from him for a long time, but it just kind of never worked out. And this was the one, and I could not be happier with it. It's you could do a few things to it to make it even more of a Swiss Army knife. I know a lot of people like switching out the pickups, and I have two other Telecasters, one with a gold foil here and one with a Charlie Christian here. I tend to keep the bridge the same. But, since those ones are more jack of all trades, I like this one as sort of I accompany songwriters with it. A little bit of country, a little bit of soul, punk rock, rock and roll. It's great for fuzz solos. I use it in my band Delving, which is sort of a combination of singer-songwritery stuff mixed with some more psychedelic rock, a bit of pop, a lot of indie. So, this thing is incredible. So if you are wondering, I want one of these Revelator RetroSonic Telecasters, but I don't see them anywhere. It's hard for me to know how they sound, how they feel. Hopefully you found this video because you're curious, and you can rest easy because these things are insane. They're just absolutely masterfully built, and I can't recommend them enough. So anyways, if you've made it this far, then you're a true nerd like me, and you just love guitars and love hearing them and hanging out with them. So anyways, I'm going to peace out. Listen to TK and the Holy Know Nothings. They're also a great band. I'm going to go listen to the masters of my record, and hopefully we'll be releasing that soon. Take care, y'all.